Matt DiBenedetto teases his future plans while his former team just hired his replacement. How's it going, y'all? My name is Eric. Welcome to Out of the Groove. Lots of NASCAR free agency news to cover today, but first and foremost, I just want to talk about some cool stuff, beginning with the Daily Downforce Out of the Groove 78 car diecast. They've finally, at long last, arrived here stateside and will begin shipping out early next week. So not too long after that, fans will finally have these beauties in their hands, in their collections. A huge thank you once again to each and every one of you who pre-ordered the diecast, who supported the podcast party bus this past spring. It's honestly surreal to go back and look at photos or clips from that weekend and see the Out of the Groove yellow on a NASCAR Cup Series car. I truly appreciate the support and I truly appreciate your patience. I cannot wait for you guys to get these cars in your hands very, very soon. And another cool thing I saw recently, speaking of diecast, I know I'm a few days late on this, but if you missed it, we've got NASCAR Cup Series drivers making their own NASCAR stop motion videos and uploading them to YouTube. What is happening? Carson Hocevar, who will be a Cup Series rookie in 2024, posted this short clip. This is a few days old. It was just before Christmas he uploaded. But hey, not that I'm any real authority on the subject, though the early days of my YouTube channel were defined by my own NASCAR diecast stop motion creations. The animation on this is super smooth. I like some of the Christmas decor in the background. Of course, we're just looking at a bunch of Carson Hocevars, but there's charm there. And whoa, take a look at what he did. A little Ross Chastain cameo there at the end. Awesome stuff. Speaking of surreal, this is surreal. 12 years ago, roughly, I uploaded my first diecast stop motion, and there were plenty of folks doing that before I came along. To see an active NASCAR Cup Series driver create their own, I don't know if it's like full circle or what, but it's weird. It's cool. Respect. Well done. It's not often I feel old, but this had me reflecting for a bit. Anyway, let's get to the real NASCAR news. We'll begin with some breaking news this morning. Ty Dillon has a new NASCAR seat. He's heading to the Craftsman Truck Series to drive the number 25 Rackley War Chevrolet. Ugh. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to jump scare you there. That was the photo they posted. But yes, 31-year-old Ty Dillon, who raced for Spire in Cup this year. He was with Petty GMS, I suppose, the year before that. He's taken a step, actually 2 steps back to the Truck Series to drive for a playoff team. Matt DiBenedetto drove the 25 truck this past season and qualified for the playoffs. Ty Dillon, I think, should be expected to run top 15. Anything less is on him. According to the press release, Rackley Roofing will sponsor 16 races. Initial reports linked Ty Dillon to Colleague Racing, to a Cup Series seat. This is months ago. Based on this news, I imagine whatever sponsorship Ty Dillon had or thought he had must have fallen through or was unable to meet the number that Colleague Racing wanted them to meet. That's why he's with Rackley War, with the team sponsoring the majority of races. Still, I don't want to sound too negative. I'm not a Ty Dillon hater by any means, but I do think this is a good fit for him. The last time Ty Dillon raced full-time in trucks was about a decade ago, and if I remember correctly, I think he finished second in points that season. I think this is a good fit. It's not a great truck, but it's a decent truck. It's a truck that with a Cup Series caliber talent behind the wheel should be in playoff contention. Ty Dillon's got plenty of Cup Series experience. Again, the expectation should be consistent top 15s. This truck scored 13 top 10s this past season. That's more than half the races. Ty Dillon should not be far off that number this upcoming season, but I think this is a good fit. He's a solid race car driver, maybe not cut out for the NASCAR Cup Series, but you put him down in one of the lower series in a playoff caliber truck, we'll see what he can truly do. I'm looking forward to watching Ty Dillon in the Rackley War 25 this year. I still believe he's kind of keeping the seat warm for Curtis Sutton, the CEO of the team. He has a kid who's, I believe, 17 years old, racing late models. I don't know truly how good he is, but we all know how this works. I imagine once he turns 18, he'll have a great shot at driving that 25 truck if he wants to. My guess is this is kind of the NASCAR equivalent of a 1-year prove-it deal. Ty Dillon is looking to prove to other team owners that he's still got it, that there's something there. He is auditioning for his 2025 opportunity and beyond, because Ty Dillon, again, is only 31 years old. And, between Ryan Preece last year getting a great shot with Stewart-Haas in his 30s, Josh Berry going to Stewart-Haas at 32 years old? He'll be a rookie in Cup? Sure, there's always the Carson Hocevar or Ty Gibbs or Harrison Burton examples, 20-year-olds landing full-time Cup seats, but there's also plenty of guys in their late 20s and early 30s still getting good opportunities. Even if Ty Dillon never gets back to the Cup Series in competitive equipment, I could see him having a solid truck or Xfinity Series career. That's what he's auditioning for in 2024. Needs to run top 15 consistently, and honestly, if he really wants to get people's attention, he needs to make the playoffs, or at least win a race. Let me know down in the comment section below what your expectations for Ty Dillon are. Now let's talk about Rackley War's former driver, Matt DiBenedetto, who for the past few months has been searching tirelessly for his next NASCAR opportunity. It appears he may finally have it. A couple days ago, Matt DiBenedetto posted the pen emoji on his X account, suggesting he signed something for next season. What that may be, we do not know. I'm not really sure what's left in trucks. My first thought was, okay, there's some Xfinity seats open. I think JD Motorsports could have a second car, although it sounds like they may only be a one-car operation this year. I thought about BJ McLeod Motorsports, the 78 with Anthony Alfredo going to a different team. Lots of speculation on the internet right now, although one well-known, albeit anonymous, source suggested that AM Racing is the likely landing place for Matt DiBenedetto. This account has become somewhat infamous for getting many of their predictions correct, so they don't have a 100% win rate. But Matt DiBenedetto to AM Racing, something to watch. It might make some sense. He'd be back with Ford, I suppose. He'd be teammates with Hailie Deegan, who's a Ford driver and is supposedly going to get some additional Ford support. I don't know if that would trickle over to the other AM Racing car, but for Matt DiBenedetto's sake, if this rumor is real, I hope it does. But this move, if it happens, would have ripple effects. Not only would DiBenedetto be Hailie Deegan's teammate, wow, that's a couple of high-profile drivers by Xfinity Series standards, but where would Brett Moffitt go? Brett Moffitt drove for AM Racing this past year. Maybe Brett Moffitt lands at front row, but front row's already got a driver for the 38 Lane Riggs. Maybe the 34 car goes full-time. 34 truck, I should say, goes full-time. Brett Moffitt did win a race at Talladega in that truck for front row just a few months ago. Ripple effects, cause and effect. We don't know where Matt DiBenedetto is headed, but what I've been saying all along is that Matt DiBenedetto does deserve a decent seat in one of the top levels of NASCAR racing. He's just too talented to leave sitting on the couch. I understand he's got a reputation of burning bridges, of damaging relationships with owners, with sponsors, wherever he goes. He's got to work on that. Whether it's true or not, whether it's fair or not, he's the common denominator with all these awkward, ugly splits. He's got to figure that out, or the opportunities will eventually dry up completely. But just from a talent perspective, Matt DiBenedetto is pretty good. He's not great. But if I were to stack him up against active Cup Series drivers, he's in that, maybe that Bubba Wallace to Corey LaJoie category. Like he's in the mix. I mean, this guy made the playoffs 3 years ago during the COVID season with the Wood Brothers. I know he didn't win either of those 2 years, but he did make the playoffs in 2020. And 2 years ago, he won a truck race for Rackley War. This year, he made the playoffs for Rackley War in truck. So he's good. Great, amazing, all-time, probably not, but he's good. So I hope he can mend some of those fences, fix some of those relationships, because the talent is there. I hate to see a guy blow it. You don't battle door-to-door with Denny Hamlin in the Bristol Night Race without some talent. If, in fact, Matt DiBenedetto ends up at AM Racing, I'll be really curious to see what kind of support he gets, because if this is a deal where Ford's really only pumping money into Hailie Deegan's seat and DiBenedetto's kind of getting the shaft, I could see things behind the scenes blowing up rather quickly. If Matt DiBenedetto can just keep his head down, compete hard, he's more talented than Hailie Deegan, I think the results will speak for themselves, whether his car is quite as good or not. How old is Matt DiBenedetto? He's also like 31, 32, right? Let me Google. 32. So yeah, like Ty Dillon, he too is auditioning for bigger and better opportunities. Just don't say that publicly. You know, Matt, like he does that in the past. He'll say, I'm taking a chance on myself. I'm leaving this team because I think there's a better team elsewhere. Don't do that. Don't say that publicly. There are certain things you can think, you can say maybe in private amongst your group, your people, but there are certain things you maybe shouldn't say publicly, but privately. Matt DiBenedetto, sure, is auditioning for a better opportunity somewhere else, potentially. But don't get ahead of yourself. Don't fill your head with these big, bright ideas that may never come to fruition. Focus on what you have now. Be thankful and grateful for what you have now. And go run well. Go make the Xfinity Series playoffs. Go contend for wins. Get a win. Brett Moffitt looked pretty good in that 25 car a few times last year. And I think Brett Moffitt's a pretty talented driver. I think DiBenedetto's at his level. I think DiBenedetto could have some great runs next year if he stays focused. Some people think I'm a Matt DiBenedetto fanboy. Some think I'm a Matt DiBenedetto hater. I'm neither. He's obviously talented, but he's made some perhaps short-sighted decisions off the track the past few years that have slowed his career down. I find Matt DiBenedetto to be very interesting, and doing what I do, I like to talk about interesting. So I hope he does well next year. We don't know what car he's driving. The rumor suggests AM Racing, but I don't have any sources myself. I'm basing this off of public rumors that are floating around. Let me know where you think Matt DiBenedetto will end up in 2024. Does he have a deal signed? Is he leading us astray? Is there something else going on we don't know about? Will it be in Cup, Xfinity, trucks? Let me know what you think down in the comment section below. That's going to do it for this episode, y'all. Leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe if you're new to the channel and you love all things NASCAR. That's what we talk about all year long here on Out of the Groove. And a huge thank you to my Patreon supporters. I will see you all again very soon. I hope you're having a wonderful week. New Year's right around the corner. I cannot wait to hit the ground running come 2024. Thanks for tuning in, folks. I'll catch you later.